Type of schools: preschool, or kindergarten. A school for children between 2 and 5 years old. Nursery school. A school for children between 3 and 5 years old. Elementary school. A school in the U.S. where basic subjects are taught for the first 6 years of a child's education. Primary school. A school for children between 5 and 11 years old in England and Wales. Middle school. A school in Britain for children between the ages of 8 and 12. A school in the U.S. for children between the ages of 11 and 14. High school. A school in the U.S. and Canada for children of 14 or 15 to 18 years old. Secondary school. A school for children between the ages of 11 and 16 or 18. The names of degree are: bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD, assistant professor, associate professor, professor. The names of degree are: bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD, assistant professor, associate professor, professor. Bachelor's degree, a first university degree. Master's degree. University degree such as an MSc or Ms. that you can get by studying for 1 or 2 years after your first degree. PhD, Doctor of Philosophy. A university degree of a very high level, which involves doing advanced research. Assistant Professor. The lowest rank of professor at an American university. Associate Professor. A professor at an American university whose job is above the level of assistant professor and below the level of professor. Professor. A teacher of the highest rank in a university department. Public school. The meaning is different in Britain and the United States. In Britain, a private school for children aged between 13 and 18, whose parents pay for their education. The children often live at the school while they are studying. A free local school, especially in the US and Scotland, controlled and paid for by the government. Janitor. It is countable. Someone whose job is to look after a school or other large buildings. Staff. The people who work for an organization. Our department has a staff of 7. Thesis. A long piece of writing about a particular subject. Graduate. Master's. Doctoral thesis. He wrote his doctoral thesis on contemporary French literature. Dissertation. A long piece of writing on a particular subject, especially one written for a university degree. Example, in the 3rd year of their course, students have to write a 10,000-word dissertation on a topic that has been approved by their tutor. Semester. One of the 2 periods of time that a year at high schools and universities is divided into, especially in the U.S. For example, the fall semester. Student loan. It is countable. An amount of money that you borrow from the government or a bank to pay for your education at a college or university. Tuition fees. It is uncountable, and means the money you pay for being taught. When I started college, tuition was $350 a quarter. Scholarship. It is a countable noun. An amount of money that is given to someone by an educational organization to help pay for their education. For example, she won a scholarship to Iowa State University. Diploma. It is a countable noun. A document showing that a student has successfully completed their high school or university education. Example, I'm hoping to get my teaching diploma this year. Higher education. It is uncountable. College or university education as opposed to school or high school. Bursary. It is a countable noun. An amount of money given to someone so that they can study at a university or college. The synonym is grant. Boarding school. Countable. A school where students live as well as study. There is a small boarding school in our town. University campus. It is countable. The land and buildings of a university or college, including the buildings where students live. A beautiful campus in New England. Essay. It is countable. A short piece of writing about a particular subject by a student as part of a course of study, an essay on Bernard Shaw. Qualification. It is countable and usually used in plural form. If you have a qualification, you have passed an examination or course to show you have a particular level of skill or knowledge in a subject. He left school without any qualifications. Certificate. It is countable. An official paper stating that you have completed a course of study or passed an examination. A degree certificate. Curriculum. It is a countable word. The subjects that are taught by a school, college, etc., or the things that are studied in a particular subject. Example. Languages are an essential part of the school curriculum. Dormitory. It is countable. A large building at a college or university where students live. For example, we soon got accustomed to dormitory life. Department of Education. The United States federal department that administers all federal programs dealing with education. Literacy. It is uncountable and means the state of being able to read and write. Example, 6 months later John had developed literacy and numeracy skills, plus confidence. Coeducation. Uncountable. A system in which students of both sexes are educated together. Coeducation gives kids the opportunity of growing in an atmosphere of diversity. Enrollment. Uncountable. the process of arranging to join a school, university, course. Enrollment will take place in September. Scholastic. It is an adjective and is related to schools or teaching. Scholastic skills. Tutor. It is countable. Someone who gives private lessons to one student or a small group, and is paid directly by them. Example, the children were educated at home by a succession of tutors. Pupils. It is countable. Someone who is being taught, especially a child. About 20 pupils study music here. Principal. It is countable. Someone who is in charge of a school. Example. There is a small school with 3 teachers and a principal in our town. Erudite. Adjective. Showing a lot of knowledge based on careful study. Learned can be its synonym. Luminary. It is countable. Someone who is very famous for their skill at doing something or their knowledge of a particular subject. Because Dr. Swanson is a luminary in the medical profession, he recently had a surgical procedure named after him.